J-Dubb here. Last year at VidCon, Mike Rignetta commented that when he first started doing PBS Idea Channel, there were some communication barriers between him and other science types because of his philosophy background. I believe it's important to have a basic understanding of philosophy. For instance, right now I am sitting in a chair, but is it really a chair? Of course it's a chair. Are you sure it's a chair? What makes it a chair? It's only a chair because we call it a chair. Chair is just a sound we've made up in order to communicate a particular concept. For instance, this particular object was constructed expressly for the purpose of being sat on. But it's only a chair if it has a back. If it doesn't have a back, it's a bench, not a chair, unless it's a park bench, which does have a back. If it's narrow, it's not a bench or a chair, it's a stool. If I sit on something that isn't a chair, like a rock or a tree stump, I'm using it as a chair, even if it doesn't have a back. But if I sit on a bench, I'm not using it as a chair, I'm using it as a bench. And if you sit on a banana, it's also not a chair. In a car, it has a back, but it's not a chair, it's a seat. I can stare at a stair or sit on it and use it as a chair, but once I stand up, it's no longer a chair. However, this chair is always a chair. I just rhymed chair with chair, and you didn't care. Okay, enough rhyming. I don't even have good time. This chair is next to a table, but what makes it a table? Table is just a sound with which to communicate a flat surface on which to set things. If I set tools on a table, it becomes a workbench, even though I don't intend to sit on it. But if I do sit on it, I'm using it as a chair. If it has legs, it's a table, but if it doesn't have legs, it's a counter. And I sit at a counter on a stool. If it's high, it's a bar stool. A bar stool can have a back, and it's still a bar stool and not a chair because it's high. But a high chair intended for a baby is a high chair. If it's meant for me to climb, it's a step stool. And if it's meant for me to put my feet on, it's a footstool. Some people use footstools while sitting on a couch. But is the part of a recliner that you rest your feet on called a footstool? Actually, I don't know that that piece has a name. But when you raise the mechanism, you refer to it as putting up the recliner, implying that the part that gives the recliner its namesake is in itself the recliner. After all, without a recliner, it's just a chair. I've taught my dog to sit, but no matter where he sits, it's never a chair, unless it's a chair. But what makes it a chair? It could be made from wood, metal, or stone, fashioned into a shape that we recognize as a chair. But what makes it a chair? You make it a chair. Is it really a chair? Yes, objectivity. And no, not in reality, subjectivity. If you want to expand your knowledge, you have to look at it differently. And that's why philosophy is important. See you next time, J-Dubb out. Only male dogs hump things, and people and other dogs and things. Basically the myth is it's only male dogs who hump other dogs and urinate to mark their territory and you know, other things to show their dominance. Truth is, female dogs do these same things too.